All right, let's just dive right in. Inside your head, right this second, there are basically two different characters running the show. One's a fast, impulsive hero, and the other's a slow, kind of lazy controller. This single idea from the Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman totally changes how you see your own mind. And believe it or not, it all starts with a really simple puzzle.
So, to really see these two systems in action, we're going to try a quick brain teaser. The only rule is don't overthink it. Just go with the very first answer that pops into your head. Ready? Okay, here we go. A bat and a ball cost $1.10 total. The bat costs exactly $1 more than the ball. So, how much does the ball cost? You probably have a number in your head already, right?
If you're like most people, and I mean most people, including a whole bunch of students at places like Harvard and MIT, the number that just jumped out was 10 cents. It feels right, doesn't it?
Well, that quick, intuitive answer is a perfect demonstration of your fast-thinking brain doing its thing. And in this case, it walked you right into a little trap. And what's so fascinating is how easy it is to check the math. Let's just walk through it together. If the ball is 10 cents and the bat is $1 more, well, then the bat has to be $1.10. And if you add those together, you get $1.20. Not $1.10. Our intuitive brain just skipped right over the calculation. So what's the real answer? It's actually 5 cents. Yeah, a 5-cent ball and a bat that costs $1 more, that's $1.05, that adds up to the correct total of $1.10. Now, this has nothing to do with being good or bad at math. It's about how our minds are wired. This predictable little mistake is the perfect doorway into Kahneman's big idea about the two systems that are running your thoughts at all times. He calls them System 1 and System 2. Now, these aren't, physical parts of your brain. They're more like two different modes of thinking, two very different personalities that are always interacting inside your head. So on one side, you've got System 1. This is your gut reaction. It's fast, it's automatic, it's emotional. And on the other side, you've got System 2. This is your conscious, reasoning self. It's slow, deliberate, and logical. You can think of it like one system reacts, and the other one has to stop and analyze. Think of System 1 as the hero of our day-to-day story. It handles everything from driving a car on an empty road, to understanding what I'm saying right now, to getting a weird vibe from someone you just met. It is an absolute marvel of efficiency, but it really loves to jump to conclusions. And then there's System 2. This is the character you have to consciously wake up and put to work. It's what you use to solve a problem like 17 times 24, or to parallel park, or to really follow the logic of a complicated argument. It's incredibly powerful, but it requires effort, and its number one defining feature is that it's fundamentally lazy. So let's go back to the bat and ball. Your System 1 just shouted 10 cents because it's an easy, intuitive fit. And your lazy System 2, which really didn't want to bother doing the math, just kind of shrugged and said, yeah, sounds about right, and moved on. The mistake happens not because we can't do the math, but because we often just don't bother to check. And this isn't just about numbers. System 1's preference for a good, coherent story over cold, hard logic, well, it shows up everywhere. Let's look at another classic example. Okay, I want you to meet Linda. As I read this description, just let your System 1 do its thing and build a mental picture of her. You're creating a story about who this person is. Keep that story in your mind. All right, you got a clear picture of Linda? Now, based on that description, which of these two scenarios is more probable? Is it A, that Linda's a bank teller, or B, that she's a bank teller and is active in the feminist movement? Overwhelmingly, something like 85% of people choose B. And why not, right? It just fits the story we made up in our heads so much better. The description of Linda just feels way more like a feminist bank teller than just some random bank teller. But here's the thing. Logically, that's impossible. Think about it like this. The group of feminist bank tellers is entirely inside the much bigger group of bank tellers. Every feminist bank teller is already a bank teller. So it is a mathematical impossibility for option B to be more probable than option A. This specific kind of error has a name. It's called the conjunction fallacy. And it happens because our System 1 doesn't care about probability, it cares about what makes sense. It substitutes the hard question, which is more probable, with a much easier one, which is a better story. And the story of Linda the activist bank teller is just way more compelling.
Now, the big takeaway here is not that System 1 is bad. It's absolutely essential. We literally couldn't function without it. The real goal is to just get better at recognizing when it's about to lead us off a cliff. The real skill is learning to identify what Kahneman calls cognitive minefields. These are situations, often involving statistics or predictions about the future, or just high-stakes decisions, where your gut feeling is very likely to be a trap. That's your cue to slow down and deliberately wake up your analytical brain. So, how do we actually do this? Well, a few things. First, when a decision really matters, don't just go with the first answer that feels good. Just pause. Second, get extra skeptical anytime you're dealing with probabilities or forecasts. Actively ask yourself, am I choosing what makes a better story or what's actually likely? And maybe the most important tip of all, if an answer feels just a little too easy, a little too obvious, like that 10-cent ball, that right there is your signal. That's the alarm bell telling you to stop, engage System 2, and double-check the work. Understanding these two characters in your mind is really the first step. The next is to ask yourself, in the moments that really count, are you letting your fast, impulsive hero make all the decisions, or are you waking up that slow, deliberate controller to help you think just a little bit smarter?